And as soon as he says that, and there are different narrations of what the voice was and what Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani radiallahu ta'ala replied. This is one of the narrations. As soon as he sought refuge in Allah from the dumb shaitan, he saw that that voice and that light emerged into a dark, thick grey cloud, which looked ugly, and it began disappearing. And as it was disappearing, the voice says, and it was shaitan. Shaitan says to Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani radiallahu ta'ala that, "Oh Abdul Qadir, your knowledge has saved you today. Your knowledge has saved you today." And Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani radiallahu ta'ala replies that, "No, it is not my knowledge that has saved me. For if it was knowledge that would save people, then Iblis would have been protected by his knowledge. Because Iblis had a lot of knowledge, but his knowledge did not protect him from becoming misguided." And this shaitan, he says that I had misguided many 100 or 70 or even more than that according to different narrations. By Abdul Qadir, your knowledge saved you. And Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani radiallahu ta'ala says, "No, it is not my knowledge that saved me. For even Iblis had knowledge, but his knowledge did not protect him from misguidance. The truth is, it is simply the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala it is the grace of Allah that Allah has saved me from misguidance." Subhanallah. From this we learn that don't fall prey to knowledge. It is not only knowledge that you look inside a man when you want to follow that man as an alim din, as a murshid. Don't think that he is very knowledgeable, thus I must follow him. Look at the taqwa that person has. See if that person is following the way of our Salaf-e-Salihin. See if he is following the maslak of our past predecessors. See if he is on the footsteps of our past ulama kiram. And as this topic has come, do I still have a few minutes? A very, very renowned scholar in the world today, Dr. Tahir al-Qadri. We all have heard of him. He's on the media, his speeches, he has the skill of speaking, but yet the ulama Ahl Sunnah, it is a new thing amongst the people, amongst the majority of the people, and to people like me it is a very old thing, that the ulama kiram have regarded him as a misguided person. He has been given knowledge by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, what has he done with that knowledge? Those people who committed kufr, the Devbandis, like Qasim Nanotwi, wrote against the Khatamun Nabuwah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, and said that Khatamun Nabuwah does not mean that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the last Prophet. Ashraf Ali Thanwi, who wrote that the knowledge of the unseen of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the same as the knowledge of the unseen that Zaid, Umar, Bakr, Tom, Dick and Harry and animals and madmen have. Ma'azallah. Khalil Ahmad Ambedkari and Rashid Ahmad Gangohi, who compared the knowledge of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam with shaitan, and said that the knowledge of shaitan is proven from the Quran and is more than the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's knowledge. Dr. Tahir al-Qadri many years ago said that I do not regard these people as kafir. These people who have said this, who have said the knowledge of shaitan is more than the knowledge of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that person who compared the knowledge of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam with animals and madmen, he says that I don't believe them to be kafir. I remain quiet. Ma'azallah. And remember that it is an obligation upon every Muslim. It is iman. It is iman of a Muslim to recognize what is kufr and regard it as kufr. If you see something that is kufr, you have to believe this is kufr. It is a part of your iman to say that Abu Jahl was a kafir. If you don't regard Abu Jahl as a kafir, then you'll become a kafir yourself. Because the Quran has distinguished iman from kufr. And if we begin to indulge or bring kufr into iman, then iman will become contaminated. And we cannot do that. And thus it is an obligation upon every Muslim believer to separate the kufr from iman. And Dr. Tahir al-Qadri recently, recently. This is what he did long time ago. And since then our ulama kiram left him. But there were still many who followed him due to his publicity. But now he has regarded the Jews and the Christians. He says that they are not from amongst the kuffar. He says they are not from amongst the kafir. He says that Allah has regarded many in the Quran as kafir. Why did he say this? Because he holds conferences with the Jews and the Christians. He has the Jewish priests and the Christian priests, the rabbis and the priests sitting with him. And they celebrate together. And in their presence, he says that the Quran has regarded many as kafir. The Quran has regarded many as mushrikeen. But at the same time, the Quran has regarded many as the Ahlul Kitab. And he tries to prove that the Ahlul Kitab are you lot. And they are different than the kafir and the mushrikeen. And thus you lot are not kafir, you are the Ahlul Kitab. Allahu Akbar. That is destroying the deen. And what else did he do? He held a conference in Wembley, in London, in England, in the UK. And in the UK, he had people from the Sikh religion, their scholars. He had people from the Hindu religion, their scholars, the Jews, the Christians, and all the other religions. He united them all together, and on the stage of a Muslim gathering, the Hindus were pronouncing or announcing Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. They were chanting these chants. Ma'adallah, al-ayadu billah, on the mimbar of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. When a person stands as an alim-e-deen on a stage, or sets a stage up for the Muslimin, then that is the mimbar of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. On that mimbar, if people are calling Jesus Christ the Son of God, if they are rejecting the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, they are chanting the names of Krishna and Ram, al-ayadu billah, then how can he accept such a scholar as a Muslim? Ma'adallah. And this is why the ulama have now woken up. The ulama have today woken up, and they have now written a fatwa against Tahir al-Qadri. And I am telling you this because it may have not reached you yet. Stay away from him, stay away from his speeches. This is the hukum of our ulama kiram, and not the young ulama kiram. This is the hukum of our akabir ulama kiram of today. The ulama of Pakistan, the ulama of Hind, and not only them, the ulama of Sham, the ulama of Misr, they are yet being consulted. And after listening to this, without doubt, they will have no choice but to agree with the fatwa. Subhanallah. And we knew this from before, when Dr. Tahir al-Qadri rejected the kufr of the Devbandis. We knew this from before, when Dr. Tahir al-Qadri refused to speak against the wrong sects of Islam. He refused to sign a paper to say that he is a follower of the Maslak of Imam Ahmad Raza radiyallahu ta'ala. He refused to denounce a book of his, a book that he wrote many years ago. Many years ago he wrote a book in which the topic was, how can you denounce, how can we end the different sects and unite the Muslims? Firqa parasti ka khatma kyo kar mumkin. In there, he clearly writes that all the different sects today, all the dispute amongst these sects is furu'i. Furu'i means it does not concern iman, it does not concern iman and kufr. It does not concern the usul of our religion. Now tell me, the Shia, they label Sayyida Aisha radiallahu anha as a zaniya. Is that not from the usul when the Quran has clearly spoken to clear the purity of Sayyida Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha? To swear at the Sahaba Kiram, to swear at the Shaykhain Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala and Umar Farooq radiallahu ta'ala, is that not from the usul? The kufr of the Diyabana, the disrespect of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, is that not from the usul? Of course, and verily it is from the usul. From then we have known, and our ulama kiram have since then stayed away from Dr. Tahir al-Qadri, but today other ulama kiram have also waken up and they have also written against him. And thus remember the teaching of Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani radiallahu ta'ala, that do not fall for the knowledge. Do not fall for the knowledge, because knowledge does not guide everybody. Knowledge can misguide people as well. And thus we should all try and gain knowledge and act upon it. And act upon it and stay on the path of the predecessors. This is how you judge the ulama kiram. Are they on the footsteps of the past scholars? If they are on the footsteps of the past scholars, if they are on the footsteps of people like Imam Ahmad Raza radiyallahu ta'ala, then you know that these are the pious ulama kiram. These are the ulama kiram.